Welcome to the Next Level Life podcast with Christine Corcoran. This podcast is made for the powerhouse businesswomen who are ready to ignite their fullest potential. This is where we will dive deep into the mindset breakthroughs and sprinkle in some kick up the butt motivation so you can scale your business with confidence and clarity. Whether you're craving more income, impact, or inspiration, this podcast will be your ultimate resource for all things next level. Listen in as we have authentic conversations with game-changing female entrepreneurs as we reveal the secrets on what it takes to rise and thrive. So go ahead, ignite your inner fire, and let's get you taking massive aligned action. Are you ready to elevate? Let's go. Hey, welcome back to the podcast. Thank you so much for hitting download and for being here with me today. I decided that I moved an episode that I'd already pre-recorded for today to next week because I wanted to jump on fresh after attending an event last week in Brisbane. And I wanted to speak to, if it doesn't exist, create it yourself. The event that I attended, I'm going to create another reel on this on Instagram because I want to rant on it a little bit. Because, I knew I should have known. I should have known with majority of male events that happen in Brisbane, in cities like big ones that come around. This person brought across an incredible guest from America, the incredible Lewis Howes, who is like the biggest podcaster in the world, has the biggest podcast, has multiple businesses, has succeeded for years and years and years, and was such a great opportunity. I was really looking forward to seeing him speak, and thought about there's so many elements that he could speak to. He's written multiple books: The Greatness Mindset, How to Make Money Easy, The Mask of Masculinity, The School of Greatness. He's written so many incredible books, which I have read majority of them. And so when I thought about the questions that are going to be asked of him, I was so excited to see him speak. And so I booked a ticket as soon as, I think it was day one or day two that they announced it, I booked a ticket. And majority of the time when big guest names are brought out from America, they're usually hosted by people that have obviously paid to have them come across, and then they run a full day event, and it's usually a full day of sales pitches, which this one was pretty much exactly the same. And now I had never been to an event this based on the person who had hosted this one. I'd never been to one of his events before. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt, and I'm going to show up early because it was a 9:15 start, and I had looked at Lewis's content from the last week, and he'd been in Melbourne and Sydney, and he basically didn't go on stage till 4 o'clock. So I was I pretty much knew that I was going to be in for a day of other speakers, which I was fine with. I love learning from other people. I love going to events. I love meeting people at events. And I was this could be a really great event. And maybe this is my seeing the positive in everything, or giving people the benefit of the doubt, that maybe was my downfall, because unfortunately, it wasn't as great as I had hoped. And what it did do, though, was light a fire in my belly of the reasons why I'm creating the Unstoppable Women event. So many things that I just got so annoyed with, that I was so frustrated sitting there the whole time, literally couldn't sit still. I was sitting next to a couple of other women and was talking to them, and I was just sitting there seething, absolutely seething from the way the event was run. And it was only a $50 event. I get it, you pay for what you get, but I felt like it could have been done so much better. So let me share with you a couple of things. And the reason why I created Unstoppable Women is because I created what doesn't exist. I wanted to create an incredible business event where you're going to learn the most updated strategies, where you're going to learn from the best of the best, where you're going to have every single speaker deliver value, where you're not going to be sitting in the room being pitched to every 20 minutes, and not actually connecting with other people in the room. It was crazy. Not only was it a full male lineup, which is another reason why I created Unstoppable Women, because I wanted to give more women voices, because they're just not being invited on stages that already exist. And I get so frustrated by it. And I've seen it for so many years. Success Resources did it for such a long time. And there's so many other male organizers that run events, which I get it. They have their own world, and they're supporting their own clientele, and all of it. I get and I understand why, but I just get so frustrated with the fact that they don't consider hey, maybe we should have a female on this panel. Maybe we should actually give a woman a spot on this stage and hear from other people. The other thing that was so incredibly frustrating was that one of the main organizers had a hot seat. So he brought this woman on stage who has $1 million business. So it's not like she's just starting out, $1 million business. And he continued to belittle her. And one of the things that I hate what some coaches do is that they ask one or two questions, and then they latch onto one little thing that person has said, and then they use that to tear them down. And that's what he did. It was so incredibly frustrating to watch, to the point where the woman on the stage actually said, I feel like this is manipulation. Like, she actually said it on stage. And I was like, yeah, it is, because he's trying to find one little thing that he can then use as a purpose to then sell his offer. And it was so incredibly upsetting, because he could have really served in that moment. He could have asked better questions. He could have uncovered what was really happening within her business. He could have given great advice, because he's been in the industry for a really long time. He's obviously created great results in his business, and he's done it for a lot of other clients. But it just felt so boastful and so just male privilege, chauvinistic, and I was so frustrated the whole time I was sitting in my chair. And he had other speakers, which were, some of them were incredibly boring, like had no personality at all. Were actually just sharing information and overview rather than actual practical information that you can implement. Like, the Facebook ads section was kind of like stuff I've already known. There was an AI section which actually didn't go through anything. Like, I was like, cool, AI session, this is going to be good. And I sat there and I listened. And he just went over the opportunity. And I said that in air quotes, because the whole way through, there was this underlying sales message, was always like, we're sitting on the biggest opportunity of a generation. If you don't do something about it, then you're going to be behind. And so it was like using fear to obviously be like, you need to actually work on this. You need to get ahead and you need to build your empire. And there was just so much male privilege that came through it as well, that I was so frustrated by, that I was like, you just haven't considered that 50% of the people in this room were women. Like, there was actually quite a lot of women in there, which was very surprising. And I was like, well, that just goes to show that women are just as entrepreneurial as men, and they want more. Like, women are not dumb. And one of the guys spent probably 15 minutes explaining what a referral opportunity was. Like, I literally looked at the woman beside me, and I was like, am I dumb? Like, why is he explaining what a referral opportunity is for 15 minutes when we understand what that is? Like, how dumb do you think we are that you have to spend 15 minutes explaining that when you build a relationship with someone and then they refer you a client, there's a way that you can use that as a referral opportunity, and that if you wanted to, you can continue to build that relationship, and then that person can pay you for every lead they send you, and vice versa. I was just like, are you serious? Like, there is absolutely zero reason why you need to spend so long speaking to a referral opportunity. Like, share with us something new. And then when he went through his frameworks, I was like, they're the most basic frameworks that everyone is teaching. And he kept saying, no one's teaching this. No one's teaching this. I'm like, dude, yes, people are teaching us this, but you're actually not going into the stuff that you know in depth that you could actually use to teach us. Like, there was elements where he was talking about buying other businesses and using equity, or actually not using any equity, not using any of your money. He could have gone into that in so much more depth, which would have made me want to then sign up. And then don't even get me started when it came to his sales pitch. Oh my God, it was literally like old school. Let's not give them anything throughout the day. Let's tell them the why and the what, and why it's so important that they invest, and what we're going to teach them and what they need to do with their business. But don't show them any of the how, and then drive home how incredibly painful it's going to be if you don't invest. There was just so much fear, so much shame, and just so much belittling. Like, it was just so, you can obviously hear it in my voice. I'm so frustrated by this. And I was sitting there going, this is why people don't value events. They spend a whole day out of their business, like a whole day out of their business, and then they have to wait for the headliner to come on stage at 4:30 in the afternoon. So we spent a whole day listening to a whole bunch of nothing, and then a 45-minute sales pitch that was so old school that I was wanting to vomit in my mouth. The way that he was like, now, if you're ready to make a decision and you're ready to change your life, stand up. Every person here in this room, stand up. And then I was like, wait for it. I literally turned to the lady beside me and I was like, wait for it. Run to the back of the room. He already had all of his team around at tables. I'm like, dude, in this day and age, you could have put a QR code on the screen. Like, you didn't need to run to the back of the room. But I understand it. It's social pressure. And when they do this, it's old school, icky tactics where everyone around them is looking at other people signing up and they're getting up and they're walking to the back of the room. That creates social pressure, right? So then people are like, oh, maybe I should be doing that too. And then it creates this next like sheep response, right? That people then just go, oh my God, I've got to do it too. And one of the worst things that happens in situations like this, when people sell like that, it creates so much buyer's remorse. So I guarantee that there will be people yesterday and today that would be like, oh, what have I done? Should I have signed up for that? I'm actually not really sure what I'm getting, because he actually maybe he went through stuff, but I stopped listening because I was like, ugh. and just waiting for the headliner to come on board. And then for the headliner to only be on stage for 35 minutes when that whole event was marketed to be with him and to be about business and obviously to be great in business, it was honestly just a day-long sales pitch that just was relentless, like absolutely relentless. And then when he actually had Lewis on stage, the questions that he asked were so basic that I was just like, I wish I'd had an hour with him. I wish I'd had 35 minutes with him to ask him better questions, to get information out of him that would have been so much more worthwhile for a business audience. He spent a lot of the time talking about his salsa journey and having permission, putting yourself in awkward situations so you can develop a relationship with fear and you can continue to take scary action. Like, there was valuable parts, and I love Lewis. Like, everything that he shares is so energetically aligned with who I am and also just so genuine. Like, he's a really great guy and he's done a lot of the inner work to not have any bravado, like actually wants to serve his people. But the questions were very hard for him to actually deliver information that would have been valuable for the audience. Like, we're coming for a business event. There are so many more questions you could have asked that would have been so valuable, so incredibly valuable. Honestly, and I just got so frustrated by the whole way the event was run, the way that they don't tell you what the agenda is, that I asked questions from the team and they couldn't answer them. I got told that I wasn't allowed to have any devices in the room. Like, are you serious? Not allowed to have a device in the room? Like, are you joking? Like, we're a business audience. Of course we're going to bring devices. And I'm like, also at the end of the day, I was like, but why? Like, there was nothing I could have recorded that would have been of value. Like, it was just for attention. Like, maybe that was it, of like, well, if we have laptops open and you're working, you're not paying attention. No, I'm maximizing my time, mate. Like, if I've got a speaker on stage that is not actually delivering any value, what do you expect us to do? So it was, anyway, so frustrating. But I wanted to share this with you because rather than just be a rant, because I feel like I'm 10 minutes in, it's already a bit of a rant. The reason why I was so passionate about creating the Unstoppable Women event was because I have attended so many great events in America. Like, I have. There is those out there that do create really high level, valuable events. And I wanted to create something here in Australia that really showcased women and gave women the stage and the platform to be able to share their expertise and to also create really in-depth, valuable sessions. So all of my keynotes have a valuable amount of time to be able to deliver something of value. It's not going to be like a quick 10 or 20 minute recap or just top level kind of information that gives you nothing. They're going into the how, and they're giving the practical strategies, and they're giving you resources so you can walk away and actually implement what they're teaching, right? Normally, if you were to work with any of my high level speakers that I have coming to the Unstoppable Women event, you would pay upwards of $1,000 to work with them at their base level, right? Like, it's important that you understand what you're actually buying when you come to Unstoppable Women. Every single part of the day is curated to ensure that you actually get value out of it. There is a detailed workbook. Every speaker will give you extra resources. Every speaker will go into a specific skill set that you're going to want to develop and help and teach you how to develop it. We're going to make sure that you've got extra resources to use after the event to make sure you're implementing everything we're teaching. If you want to do some of that implementation on day 2, you come along for the VIP experience and get extra time with some of the speakers. And we go a little bit deeper into what we've learned on day 1. There is specific masterminding and networking opportunities. Now, at this event that I went to last week, there were 2 networking opportunities. The first one I missed because I ended up coming a little bit late because of the traffic, which I came up, like, that's probably also why I'm really frustrated that I got up really early in the morning and drove 2 hours to fucking get there and then was late anyway. And anyway, whatever. But the second networking opportunity was like possibly maximum 7 minutes, like maximum. And then there was a pitch straight after it to sign up to a networking app, which the guy didn't even very much explain the benefit of it. And then actually said to tell it and basically told everyone, put your phones up now and access this. And then he literally went through how to sign up to an app. I was like, literally turned to the lady beside me. I must have been such an annoying audience member. I turned to the woman beside me. I was like, are we dumb? Like, is he literally teaching us how to sign up to an app? Like, we know how to put in our email address and to create an account. Like, are we that dumb? I was so frustrated by it. Anyway, so the whole purpose of the networking was literally just to sell this thing, not to actually develop networking. There was no explanation of how to network effectively. It was just like, go meet someone. Like, there was nothing. At Unstoppable Women, there'll be multiple networking opportunities. And I'm going to be teaching you how to utilize these opportunities effectively in the lead up as well as on the day. Because majority of the people don't really benefit from events because they're not thinking outside the box. They're not thinking ahead into the future to determine who they need to network with, how to nurture that network, and what to do with the people that you meet within the event, right? This is not going to be a sales pitch. I'm not going to be expecting people to hand over business cards. That's not the case either. Because that's the other thing that happened. Oh my God, now that I'm remembering it. People came up and handed me their business card without actually introducing themselves. I was like, are you fucking serious? Like, are you joking? It's like, how about you say, hi, my name is, and actually introduce yourself and have a conversation instead of going like, hey, here's a business card. I don't want to take them home with me. Like, are you fucking serious? I was just so oh my God. Every part of it, I was just so angry throughout the day of like, I've such a wasted day. And then full male lineup, full male privilege, full like tear down, use of old school sales tactics, which were just driving me mental. Oh my gosh. Okay. Sorry. I don't want this whole episode to be about me ranting. But I think one of the things that you want to consider when you're attending events like this is like, what do you really want to get out of it? I actually went up to a couple of people and met some people. It was so funny. One lady literally turned to me and she's like, you're Christine, and literally knew me. It was so funny. Another lady I was chatting with who was so lovely, and I said to her, I run events, so this really frustrates me, the fact that I run events and this is the way that people are running them these days. It's just insane. And she was like, oh, what's your event? And I shared with her the Unstoppable Women event. And she was like, oh, I've seen this. And I was like, oh, amazing. My Facebook ads are working. So good. So like, it was so interesting to meet people that knew of me, which was really flattering. And then to meet some new people as well, to see who was attracted to these types of events. And it was such an eclectic group of people in the audience, because I honestly believe like Lewis really attracts such an eclectic group, the different topics that he speaks to. So honestly, I think when it comes to make sure that you match your event with what you're marketing. And if it doesn't exist, like for instance, like I would attend a bunch of these events and get frustrated with the fact that there was only one woman on the stage or no women on the stage, and have these old school sales tactics being used and just the cringe factor. There's other events that I've been to where literally no one spoke to anyone. Like everyone was in their own world, literally did not talk to people. People were just in their own world, would walk to the bathroom, like would not actually make eye contact with people, would not speak to people. And I was like, what the actual fuck? Anyway, so I wanted to create an event that I didn't think existed here in Australia. An event where women can come together and actually feel connected, to feel celebrated, to have a space where they can talk about their ambitions and be uplifted instead of torn down. I wanted to create a space where we have incredible high-level speakers that do give you the how, that give you the good stuff, that give you their IP, that literally give you everything that they know about what they do and why they're great at what they do, and they give you the good stuff. So you walk away with really implementable stuff to walk back into your business and put it into practice. And I wanted to create a place where we, one, eradicated tall poppy syndrome, two, created an opportunity where you do get to connect, but also understand how to connect and network effectively. So you don't just walk away with a list of names, you walk away with new friends, new business partnerships, new collaborators, new opportunities. And we think about it really in the long term, right? So when you're ever attending an event, you ask yourself, what do I need in the next 18 to 24 months? Like in my business, what do I need? And you actively go into that event thinking, okay, who do I need to be connected with for osmosis, as in like who I'm going to be affected by with proximity? Who do I need to have in my business to support the growth of my business? What answers am I going to need? Who is going to support me to show up and take action, right? Like being surrounded by other incredible action takers helps support that, because through osmosis, you want to be like the people you surround yourself with. Like you think about it like that, and then walk in intentionally to have really powerful, intentional conversations. You're more likely to walk out with those opportunities and those connections and the new clients under your belt, right? But majority of people walk into events going, how can I get my next client? And that's where you go in with desperation energy, with hardcore salesy tactics that just are icky and gross. People do not buy off one networking conversation. You shouldn't be treating it like that. And then obviously then you don't follow up as well. So like thinking about how you're utilizing events effectively for the growth of your business. And if there's any event that you attend in 2026, please let it be the Unstoppable Women event. I guarantee you it's going to set the bar so high for events that you're going to be like, oh my gosh, majority of other events are a waste of time. And I don't say that lightly. It's because I've gone and created something that I didn't believe existed. And I attend a lot of events, right? I go to a lot of events. And so I wanted to create this beautiful space where people felt celebrated and lifted up and challenged and supporting their growth, like every part of what they need for their next level. So if you notice, if something frustrates you the way that this event frustrated me last week, there's something in that. Pay attention to your frustrations. Pay attention to your frustrations because there's something underneath that that's telling you something, right? It either doesn't exist or there's a reason why you need to create it. So pay attention, right? So there was every part of that event literally just really reconfirmed why I created Unstoppable Women and why I'm so passionate about having women come and experience an event that's really worthwhile. And I want it to be the event that they put on their calendar every single year, like a go-to event. They're like, I don't care, no matter what, I'm at that event, because it's your touch point that every single year you see your growth and you see your transformation happen over the years because you show up at that event, you learn, you grow, you expand, you connect, and it just supports the evolution of your business in the direction that you want it to go. So those frustrations that you feel are usually happening because you are noticing something that's missing. You're noticing something that's not being done in the way that you could do it. You're noticing these unique things that happen. Maybe it's a gap in your industry, or maybe it's an opportunity that's being presented to you because you were the one that needs to bring it to life. So it's important that you pay attention to those frustrations and follow through on them, right? How many times have you felt frustrated by something because you're like, this doesn't exist, or it doesn't exist in the way that you want it to exist, and you let it fly, you let it just fall by the wayside instead of paying attention to it and realizing that you are the one that's supposed to bring it to life. And yes, along with that is going to be the fear of going first, the fear of creating something different, the fear of whether people are going to show up, the fear of whether it's something people are going to want to buy. But if you don't follow through on it, then you'll never know. And it'll just be something that will continue to frustrate you. Our frustrations are something that's really healthy for a woman to really pay attention to, because it's usually where a boundary is being crossed, where you haven't stood up for yourself, or where you haven't created something that you truly believe should exist. So paying attention to that and realizing like, hey, I really want this to exist, so maybe I'm the one that's supposed to create it. And notice it as well, like if you get frustrated by other people creating something that you wanted to create, there's something in that as well. It means that you're supposed to spend some time energetically creating it and then bringing it to life. And then you've got to decide that you're going to be the one that brings it to life, right? Because there is plenty of other people, like you will always get that thought and that belief system of like, oh, but it already exists, or but someone else is going to create it. It doesn't matter. If it's on your heart to create it, it means that you have to create it. And I will say you will absolutely be rewarded by it. Like I get so lit up by this event that it actually fuels me for months afterwards. Like being on that stage and then having the conversations with women in the room and seeing the transformation happen right in front of my eyes, like it absolutely fulfilled me in so many ways, which is the reason why I'm doing it again. So join us at Unstoppable Women. We're only 8 weeks away, which is crazy. Oh my God, fuck. 8 weeks away. So if you haven't got your ticket yet, secure your ticket. There's a couple of Bring a Bestie tickets still available. So if you want to bring a friend, do that. But please know that you should make sure that you step outside just your friend zone as well and meet new people, because that's going to also benefit you in the growth of your business. And come and join us. 10th of September, QT Hotel on the Gold Coast. Make the plans now and get yourself in the room. It's going to be such an incredible event. I cannot wait to see you there. Thank you for listening. And if you found any value out of this episode, make sure you hit the follow button so you get access to the episodes as soon as they are live. And make sure you come hang out with me on Instagram. You can find me at ChristineCorcoran_coach. Have an incredible week.